Hey guys, Weeb here. Today I'm here to introduce you to a new game called Eternal Magic, an upcoming free MMORPG that is coming to close beta the 4th of September 2019. So I've personally been playing the game for about 50 to 100 hours on the Russian server, so I do have a general gist of how the game plays. So first up, let's go and have a look at some of the max level combat on all of the classes. Okay, first up we have the Healer class. The Priest in Eternal Magic is the full support healing slash buffing class in Eternal Magic, and each party does require one. It can be played as a mage if you adjust your runes correctly and focus on single target DPS if that's the playstyle you want to play. Second up is the Mage. The Mage is the best class in the game in my personal opinion because it has a lot of abilities that play very much like a mage would in most MMORPGs. It includes other abilities like, for example, equipping a rune to a firestorm will turn that firestorm into an ice storm or a lightning storm and give it stunning effects and various other effects. Very fun class to play. So this is the tanking class. The tank class is pretty much what you'd expect from any tank class in the MMORPG, except that it uses a spear. It has a jump, it has some flashy abilities, some aggro holding abilities, and some defending abilities, just like every other tank and every other MMO. Next up is the Assassin. The Assassin has a lot of agile and mobile abilities. You can jump back and forwards quite a lot, get behind the boss, do a lot of damage. It's not quite as flashy as some of the other classes, but it's more fluid and very fun to play. Something to really point out is the combat in this game is very fluid, much more fluid than many other combat with global cooldowns. Next is the Gunslinger. The Gunslinger can be used as an off-tank for some people because it can be run as a DPS and a strong healer to support the healer. So you can either go full heals, DPS, and slight heals, or you can go full DPS. Usually I'd recommend going full DPS unless you know what you're doing. It is long range, has physical damage, and it's a pretty cool class to play. As you can see, it's pretty flashy, and it does some pretty decent damage from long range. Next up is the Spellblade. Spellblade does physical and magical damage both from close range and long range. Something to be aware of though is it is the hardest class to play and it wears cloth, so you have to go close up and wear cloth armor, so if you get hit you're going to take a lot of damage. Hardest class to play, probably the most rewarding. Okay, so now that we've looked at some of the combat available in Eternal Magic, let's have a look at some of the other content that is available. So first up is pets. So everything is located here in the wardrobe. There's a lot of different pets you can collect that do different things, from tanks to mage to healers, etc, etc. They can all go into combat, they can go into pet battles, and they can go into garrison missions, so they're very important. Next up is mounts. As you can see, there's a lot of really beautiful mounts. This dragon in particular, which I couldn't get from World of Warcraft, I would love to get in this game. Some of them are buyable from the store, but a lot of them you have to grind or do quests / events to obtain. Next up is the wardrobe for your character. Every character has similar sized wardrobe and a lot of items you can obtain, including massive and beautiful wings. Here is portrait. Basically it shows you progress in the game. It shows kind of like a rank to other people when they view your character. And here is collectibles. So you can go around and do quests, get collectibles, do achievements, because there is a massive achievement system where you can go around and do tons of events and whatnot to try to farm achievement systems to show off your achievements to other people. Okay, so now that we've had a brief look at that, next up, let's talk about what people are probably going to be very excited about, housing. Okay, so now let's have a look at housing. So housing is split up into a lot of different instances where you'll have about 5 to 10 neighbors. Each mansion here represents a different neighbor. When leveling up, you're going to get an item which allows you to unlock your house / mansion. You don't have to grind for it, you don't need silver, you don't need gold, you don't need anything else. All you need to do is come up to a board, click on the board and use your item, and your house will automatically build. Come and talk to the guy at the front and you'll be teleported inside. Okay, so now we're inside. So what you're going to want to do when you first get in here is you're going to want to talk to the fairy and complete the quest. But basically, you open up the fairy and you buy a couple of objects. Then, you're going to want to put those objects into your storage. Okay, now this one. Okay, so now you click on the item, like the chest for example. And now I'm going to take the chest out of storage and put it on the ground. So a couple of things to note is that you can double click an item and move it around. If you put a chest down as the player and you get out of build mode, you can actually access the chest and it'll open up and it'll have storage. You can make this bigger as well. This way you can have extra storage than just what's in your bank. As you can see, the mansion is pretty big and there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. You also have guild halls and other stuff like that if you want to build in there, if that's really up your alley. You can invite other people in here, but they cannot use items like your storage. Okay, so that covers the very basics of housing. Let's now talk about weddings. Yes, you heard it right, weddings. So how weddings work is you do a quest to become linked to another character. Once linked to that other character, you get intimacy points. And then you can go complete quests, PvP, guild wars, whatever content you want to do, and you're going to get intimacy points by playing together. When you get enough intimacy points, you get to the point where you're allowed to get married. You do a quest, you get married, have the ceremony and all. Once the ceremony is done and you're married, you get a special buff that's exclusive to you two characters. I can't unfortunately show you the wedding ceremony itself because I was unable to get any footage on it, but I can show you the wedding dress. So it's located up here in the store. As you can see here, the wedding dress looks really cool and it's really neat. So in Eternal Magic, for some of the things I may not have covered, so there's 10 vs 10 guild wars, there's guild halls, guild tournaments, open world PvP, world bosses with open world PvP, a MOBA mode, basic dungeons, dungeons like World of Warcraft, keystones with debuffs and timers, etc., and 10-man chaos dungeons. So there's a variety of content for everybody, so I really strongly suggest that anybody that has a bit of free time to try out the game. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy the video, and I do hope to see you on the battlefield. Peace, guys.